Hi, welcome back to Mamás Latinas radio show here in Aura, Canada. And this first Thursday of the month of October, we are here just around the corner about the Thanksgiving. I hope you have a great time with your family. And today is a very special program. I'm going to lower that because I'm hearing myself and I'm like, what I'm doing. So today we have a very special program. I have two very special guests for the Stop Community Center. One is Tanya and the other person is Pavili. I hope I said correctly your name. Welcome to be here. Tanya is the coordinator of the Healthy Beginning programs and Pavili is the manager of the human resources at the Stop Community Center. Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here. And I love this technology because both of you are the office and I'm here and we can have this great program that we have prepared for you guys. Thank you for being here, Tanya.
Hi, Miriam. Good morning. Hi, Pallavi. How are you?
Hi, Tanya. Hi, Miriam. Thank you so much for inviting me to the show.
We are very happy to be here today, as every month. Thank you for having us. And it's actually Pallavi Jain, and I would like to formally introduce her. I have the great pleasure to work with Pallavi here at the Stop Community Food Center. Pallavi is an HR professional. She is the Human Resources Manager at the Stop Community Food Center, but also Pallavi, she has a lot other skills and a lot of other interests. She grew up in a family in India, and she is really fond of family traditions, especially oral traditions, listening to stories, inspiring stories, and that's how she began a journey in the radio as well. She has been a radio host with Radio Regent in Toronto in 2017, and she has been really happy to be able to express herself and to create community through radio. She has also her show was called Stories with Paul, and she really likes to have a friendly nature when she approaches the radio show. So every single person has their own story. They just need someone to listen. That's what Pallavi's slogan is, and we would like to welcome her today for this new session, new episode of Healthy Beginnings monthly radio show. Welcome, Pallavi.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for that wonderful introduction, and thank you so much, Miriam. I think I love your show, and every Thursday I'm really looking forward to listening to your show. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction.
Tanya, and sorry, the volume here is making me a little bit silly, but thank you for the introduction. And I love this program because with the experience of you guys being in the radio, being part of the radio show, being in contact with moms, being part of the human resources of this company and this community center, I think this radio program is going to be very excited because I know a lot of moms, a lot of women out there are asking, what should I do when I need to go back to work? Where should I do? What questions I need to ask? How I need to dress? How I need to take care of my kid and going back to the workforce? How can I get into the workforce but I don't have the support that I need? So I think that this is great. Being you in human resources, I think you can give us a lot of input for those moms that want to go back to the workplace. And I want to acknowledge that also Tanya have a lot of contact with a lot of new moms, maybe her first newborn, the second or the third, doesn't matter. Everybody faces a challenge when we think, should I go back to work? What I need to do with my kid? What are the challenges, Tanya? And then you can answer or you can complete her question about new moms giving that thought about going back to work or going to start to work, because some moms are newcomers, they become a mom, and they don't have previous experience, but they need to go back to work to support the family. What are your experiences with new moms, Tania?
Yes, what I have heard very common from moms is the fact that there is no support in terms of child minding. Moms need to still take care of their children and being part of the workforce, but there is not enough support in terms of helping with caring for the kids. And also learning new skills. Sometimes we do need to either pump up our English or any other language that we need to use for our work positions, or just finding ways to upgrade yourself. So basically, a lot of child minding, a lot to do with child minding, and finding new ways to present yourself and getting skills for the workplace. What do you think, Valerie?
Absolutely, Miriam. Just as Tanya explained, I see the challenges in a threefold way. I think, I mean, definitely for the new immigrant mothers or to be mothers that Tanya deals with on a day-to-day basis in her role, in her job. Um, as new immigrants, it's hard enough to be, fresh, brand new in a new country, in a new culture, to adapt um, to the new culture and then to make a living there with your family. So I think for new immigrants, there's different challenges, existing moms and to be moms, and then at the same time, uh, mothers who have just um, uh, born the child. Right after that, whether to come back to work, how long the maternity leave should be, um, and how to seek support to take care of their newborn. Most of the families here are in a nuclear format. Not everyone has the enough support. And I think third challenge that I see is existing, uh, um, moms who took a break from their career. Uh, Maybe children are grown up, but they feel clueless as to in what way they should seek opportunities out there, how to restart their career, and whether that conundrum, whether they will be supported by their future employers. Because in a way, they feel disconnected from the market, I believe.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is absolutely right. And that's what happened to me. That's one of the experiences that I had, because before I had my children, I have built a practice, my own practice as a practitioner, as a natural health practitioner. And then it came to a halt because I decided that I wanted to take care of my children full time. And then when I wanted to come back to it, I felt like now where to start. And I knew I had the skills and I knew I had the language. But at the same time, I just feel like I felt rusty. Like I like a bike that has been outside for a long time. I've been, like many winters in the snow. I felt that way. So it's very challenging.
Absolutely, and imagine with those challenges, Tanya found her own way and this beautiful career where not only she's independent, but at the same time now she's able to support, um, the other prospect mothers and existing mothers who are seeking a career out there.
I have a question here. For moms that want to go back to the work office, which questions are allowed to ask to the person who is on the other side that is going to have that power of saying, yes, you are hired or you are not hired? Can they ask, can they pump at the workplace if they are breastfeeding? If they are allowed, they can ask for that time, even when they are working. The workplace need to support them with a child minding, or that's not part of the work, or it is or is something that they can have arranged with each particular workplace. Which questions the new moms that are going back to work? Some moms decide to have a year long of maternity leave. Some moms can have a year and a half of maternity leave. And when they are back to work, can they ask that, or they are not allowed to ask those questions because they can seem like, oh, you are not going to be a good fit now that you are a mom?
It's an excellent question, Miriam, and I'd like to know Tanya's thoughts. But in my opinion, um, I've been working in human resources, and uh, uh, a few things that I feel and I believe that they should ask in the uh, interviews is that uh, once the interview is over, there is an opportunity for the candidate to ask questions, and I think that is an opportunity to seek from the employer to ask uh, about their culture. What kind of culture, uh, you know, does that organization have? Um, do they have any specific areas for breastfeeding for new mothers? Do they have flexible work hours? Do they have any hybrid work model, as in mixed with remote work and on-site work? Um, and Sometimes there are appointments in the middle of the workday. So how much flexibility can they seek in order to support their children? So, what do you think, Tanya?
Yes, definitely. I think that you've taken, you pointed out something very important. Sorry, my throat is a little dry. It's the work culture.
Yeah.
The work culture of the organization, the company, the place that we are seeking to be employed. I think first we should definitely research on our own before coming to the interview and asking the question, because that way you feel that you have some information, some pieces of information from where you can draw when it comes to asking. Perhaps not at the job interview, you won't be asking for accommodations per se,
Right.
but you will be kind of getting a sense of, are they family friendly in a way,
Yeah,
right? Do they have a culture where they support mothers in their workplace, where they support families in a way that will provide the employee the opportunity to do both, because in a way we are still mothers,
Yeah.
even when we come to the workplace, and in a way sometimes we need certain flexibility, as you said.
Yeah, and do they also do they have um, uh, what kind of flexibilities does the organization has uh, to support working mothers? These days, most employers are aware of the challenges, especially post-pandemic. Imagine during the lockdowns, how the working parents would have been able to support their children when even the education was happening, right? Within their home. So I have seen families. I've seen families in my relatives. I mean, on one hand, parents are working back to back on their laptops, and at the same time, they have to, support their children doing the online classes. So, I think those things are very important. I think at the same time, it's not always the job opportunities that the working mothers can seek. For instance, a couple of years ago when I was volunteering with the Young Street Mission, I remember that I was a part of a women's collective. It was called Women's Development Network, and at the time, um, because of my background, entrepreneurial background, I was able to support two women from the group to set up their own um, uh, sole proprietorship uh, business setup, small business setup. So, for instance, one of the women, uh, she used to make this beautiful handcrafted jewelry. So I remember that we set up the online platforms, marketplaces, and we set up the whole mechanism to advertise her jewelry. And I think till date she makes jewelry at home, and she's able to sell it on different platforms. Sometimes physically, sometimes online. And there was another women. One of the other women, I think we supported to set up her own food truck because she used to make these amazing doubles. Um, and I remember that we used to cook together in Taste of Regent Park, Taste of Denford. So I think it's also small business entrepreneurial setups that the working mothers can see. What do you think about that, Tanya?
Absolutely. I think entrepreneurship and starting your own business project is always something that could be easier than going out there and finding a position in an organization or in a company or uh, you name it. The idea is depending on where you at it, at this point, right? Like when you want to come back to the workplace, if you have already a set of skills, a set of qualifications that you want to continue to pursue, then it is wise to seek an employment opportunity with a third party. But if you are you're still in the middle of it, in the middle of raising your kids, they're young, they're small, they need a lot of your own attention, and you are still in the process of building your own skills, finding your own way. I think entrepreneurship is something that we could not easily because it's also challenging, but there also there are supports that are available to mothers to pursue a little business where you can be also become independent down the road.
Absolutely.
I have a question here. For those moms that want to go back to work, you talk something about the lockdowns and how the workplace can support these moms. But how about if the mom is not a lockdown, but we know kids get sick when you don't expect it. So in the day that you have that important meeting, that important presentation, the school called you and they said they are having fever, they're having cough, you need to come and pick it up. And you don't have anybody else to go and pick that kid. How the workplace can support that woman that at work is a woman, is not a mom. At work, you don't say, I am a mom. You say, I am a woman that do this. How the workplace can support that woman to be able to go and pick up their kids, or how they can arrange that? Is like a law? Is like something that you need to put on writing before you start working, or how can they manage that part?
Excellent question, Miriam. And I think when we were talking about um, asking the right questions at the time of interview, um, inquiring as to uh, what is the work-life balance in that organization, how is their culture in terms of supporting working women, working mothers. I would say for this specific example, I would say having flexible uh, work environment and a hybrid model, remote work, whenever needed. I think that would play a key role. What do you think, Tanya?
It's a really interesting question. Thank you, Miriam. I think you really hit the spot there.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of women slash mothers, that is something that we experience, and we're not exempt to experience in a given day. So I think it's I'm not sure. I am not an expert in labor law. I don't really know whether there is a law or there is a policy that we can draw from in terms of being allowed that time. I would say definitely approaching your human resources manager,
Yeah.
perhaps, and creating that connection, that interaction, and having getting a sense of the if the organization will support you in that aspect when it comes maybe doing it beforehand once you're starting working and just coming to your manager and say, hey, what if that happens? How can we for do something about this previously, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I think most employers these days are aware of, of these challenges, and they are willing to provide the accommodations. But it's always, uh, you know, it's always good to inquire about things beforehand when you're going for a job. And I think uh, another option I feel is that uh, women can also opt for part-time work sometimes. I think it gives them a lot of flexibility. um, uh, you can combine it with skill development, especially when they're trying to enter the workforce after a long gap. um, but coming back to your question, Miriam, when, uh, I think there is no employer that could, um, sort of, that will come in the way for a mother to take their children take care of their kids when they need the most, when they're sick. So I think it's, for instance, at the stop, when we talk about the sick leave, people can not only take sick leave when they're sick, but as per our policy, they can use those sick leaves to take care of their immediate family as well. So accommodations like this, which is why it's best to always be aware of the policies and procedures. Read the manual of the workplace that you're working in. If there is confusion, definitely reach out to clarify with your manager or human resources. Definitely, I mean, those would be some of the go-tos.
And I love these points that you are giving us right now, that read the manual if it's a manual in your company, that read the policies, approach your human resources, the human resources department, or your direct boss also, and reach uh, reach a solution that works for you and for your company. And that hybrid solution, I really like it. And right now, more with the pandemic that we had, so I think more of the companies are open to do that, to work an every time. So the time is almost finishing, and I would love for you two guys to tell us something for the moms that are out there and are thinking, should I go back to work? Should I stay home? Should I start my own business? Give them a word of advice for those moms that have small children, newborn, that need to work. Maybe they don't want to, but they need to work. What should you tell them to say, go ahead, you can do it? With your own work, with your own experience. I know you guys have a lot of experience of this because you work with a lot of women every day.
Uh, I think it's a great question, Miriam, and a couple of things I can say to that is there are a lot of resources out there. There are Employment Ontario centers, and there are a few government-supported agencies as well, a few nonprofits that provide free of cost consulting on how to re-enter the workforce, whether it's setting up your small business, whether it's in the capacity of a contractor with whatever skills you might be bringing to the table, or in terms of a job. Second thing I can add to that is, personally, in my way, I also provide free of cost one-on-one guidance support to the working women or working mothers who are looking forward to come back to the workforce. Um, and Miriam, like, you're welcome to share my link to my LinkedIn profile and my email for any mothers out there or any working women uh, wanting to re-enter the workforce, to reach out to me. I'd be happy to provide that initial guidance.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. One thing I would say is there's so many, but the one thing I would say is build community. build community, find women that, in a way, are like-minded, and that will, in turn, support you in your pursuits, either being it your own business or looking for a job. There's always an opportunity for to support each one another, and finding inspiration and encouragement. And if that's what you want to do, go for it. I think it is really difficult to balance maternity and work, but it's also something very satisfying. And if that's something that you want to do, I would say go for it, build community, and hopefully you find an amazing HR manager in your company, just like Pallavi here at the Staff Community Food Center. Thank you, Miriam, so much for the opportunity to talk to you today.
No,
Thank you
thank
so
you
much.
guys. Thank you guys for being here today, and I would love for you to be here in the studio next time, because I think this will be a very great conversation who have it in person. So next time I hope you can be here. Thank you for all those words of advice for all women that I thinking to go back. I think they can share this information with everybody. You know, supporting other moms, supporting other women in the workplace, outside the workplace, at the school, wherever you find a woman that needs support, just support her. Just be empathic with them. Just, you are a woman. Supporting women, we are going to be stronger. We are not better alone. We are better together. Thank you so much to everybody for connecting today, for sharing this amazing, amazing radio talk today. And I see you next week after Thanksgiving, and have a wonderful time with your family in Canada and in the world. Why not? See you next time.
See you next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Don't go.